The honourable member for Halifax Needham.
Mr. Speaker, my question is for the Premier. Lately, when pressed on the growing number of Nova Scotians who are facing rent hikes in the hundreds of dollars a month, the Premier has insisted that rent control does not work. But across many jurisdictions, rent control is giving some certainty and protection to renters and some stability and livability to communities. There is no significant evidence that it stymies housing construction, and in fact, the policy is in place and working well in Manitoba, Ontario, Prince Edward Island, Quebec, and British Columbia. Yet the Premier has decided that rent control won't work for Nova Scotians. Will the Premier table the analysis that his government has used to reach that conclusion?
The Honourable Minister of Housing.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and I'm pleased to rise today. I appreciate the question from the Honourable Minister. I want to talk a bit about housing. Mr. Speaker, we know there have been challenges over the years. We've continued to invest over the years. Another great example, that was our commitment yesterday to the folks in the TIWAC organization, Mr. Speaker, and the commitment we've made to them. $7.3 million in the first 3 years, Mr. Speaker. We'll continue to work with organizations like TIWAC, our private industry, Mr. Speaker, co-ops and organizations as such, not-for-profits. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much.
The honourable member for Halifax Needham.
Mr. Speaker, this government in fact sees rent control working well enough in order to bake it into agreements that it reaches with landlords under its housing programs. When negotiating the terms of rent supplements or through the Rental Rehabilitation Assistance Program, rent increases are indexed to the Consumer Price Index, commonly for periods of 15 years at a time. Mr. Speaker, if rent control doesn't work for the people of Nova Scotia, how then does it work when the government is the one paying?
The Honourable Minister of Housing.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The honourable member mentioned a couple of great programs. Mr. Speaker, not only did we put forward a $400 million program signed with the national government, the rehab program she spoke of, Mr. Speaker, $70 million over and above that this government has invested in Nova Scotians who need repairs to their homes. Much more, Mr. Speaker, $20.5 million announced in the budget this year to create homelessness, housing workers, Mr. Speaker, right across this province. Government is working hard to solve issues and concerns around those in need of housing in this province, Mr. Speaker.